yourself, Nick, outside of the obvious, did you feel the same way about the show?
If you took the giant, massive, I don't know how long, we're only 5 minutes in the video, so I can't swear yet. If you take the 2 porta potties out of that, show, was overall where Dynamite's pretty much been at. And I think we even saw what the ratings that came out today, it kind of fell pretty much where it's been at. That's the thing. So like Penta and Copeland was good. I know there was a big discussion about the women kissing. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you about Copeland and that. Sorry.
No, you're good. So that's the thing though. But you had 2 gigantic, Titanic size anchors there.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, I mean, they did all this for 60,000 more views. And at the end of the day, I found it really, when they say read the room, I don't know if we got to get Tony Khan some braille, but he ain't reading anything right now. Like he puts out that tweet today about the ratings. Oh, we were up 29%. Wait a minute. You're just clearing 800. Like that's not a brag.
That's the first time they missed 800. Well, they hit 800 even all of March. They hit 819 last night. For those who don't know, the last time I looked this up, the last time that they hit over 900, which I thought this is what we would be aiming for. If we're going to get a huge push, this is controversy. This is what we're gambling on this to an extent. I'm really putting my chips in here. They haven't hit 900 since October of last year.
Mm-hmm. And like we said, it was lose-lose because now anybody that said, oh yeah, you were up 29%. Thank you, Punk.
Right, exactly. It's what we said going into this 100%. CM Punk is still one of the biggest draws in AEW, even though he hasn't worked there in months now. You had people in the crowd that were chanting CM Punk while they were showing the footage when the Young Bucks came out.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the Young Bucks versus FTR in a match on Dynasty this coming Sunday. You don't think we're going to see or hear CM Punk chants?
Oh,
this has been the biggest backfire, the biggest snafu. And I will say this, and again, I'm probably rambling because I wasn't here last night. But this is literally, though, everything that we've been saying for months on end at this point. Ever since I've been throwing up the WCW, finger gesture doing the Bret Hart and everything.
Yeah.
This has been coming down the pipeline, and everybody, oh, you're just hating on AEW. No, we want AEW to succeed, and we've seen this coming down, and we've seen the trends, and this is how they act. Am I surprised that they actually really did it, and it wasn't the Young Bucks talking over it and poking fun at it?
That's what I thought they were going to do.
Well, and how do you feel that they are using it towards the FTR thing, and then FTR had to come out and respond of why are we even showing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, FTR got a chance. FTR was the only saving grace in that situation at all because they kind of said what everybody in the building was thinking, and they actually got some cheers, a few pops for what they were saying. Now, I think that Tony and the Bucks think that, oh, this is great. It works into the storyline. And I saw some, TikTokers and whatever, streamers out there today of like, you guys don't understand. Like they explain, like it worked into the story. It's bullshit and it's silly and it's dumb. We lost our match because some guy we're kind of friends with got in a 6-second scuffle with the old guy that we hate. That's not a good angle. That's not a good story. Listen, Dusty Rhodes, one of his rules, one of his mainstays as far as code of conduct within wrestling, it was always never cut a promo on somebody you can't get in the ring with. And they blew that up all night long last night.
Well, and even the reaction across the board, you had Corey Graves sit there sharing, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Right.
All of that, yeah. But even Sean Spears, who was just in AEW, sending that whole gif out and everything of the guy throwing the medicine ball and then smacking him in the face. But that's the thing is, what was there to be gained from anything like this? Like, we've all been children. We've all gotten caught with our hand in the cookie jar, that type of shit. You make an excuse as to, I was getting it for Billy. That's why I'm doing it. It wasn't me doing it. That type of shit. That's what this felt like, though, of, well, it's because of FTR. And I get that they're doing it to fucking kayfabe and everything like that. But you only did that. You're shoehorning an excuse around you just needing to get your rocks off. and see, didn't we show that CM Punk's wrong? No, you literally, there's people that have sat there and synced it up verbatim with everything. And I'm glad those videos haven't getting taken down, because would they be taking down videos if this went over well? But
no.
There have been people that have synced that up literally like line for line, shot for shot, and literally damn near everything that he said in his interview with Ariel, which again, he said it during an interview, not his TV time, not on the WWE show, no nothing, but literally lined up exactly with what he said. So what did you prove here? That you're a bunch of petulant children that we've said for the longest time? Absolutely. That Tony Khan doesn't know what he's saying? Absolutely.
Yeah, the lack of maturity from a group of men. Like when we talk about the Young Bucks, they're in their 30s, they're fathers. When we talk about Tony's what, 38? I mean,
yeah, he's around my age-ish, a little bit older.
Yeah, like we're not talking about children. And you know what? Listen, we talk all about the tribalism all the time, but at the end of the day, there is a huge difference between bias and blind. And those people that are so like fucking David Koresh didn't have this loyalty. Like it's insane the how some people just blindly, it doesn't matter what happens. I'm watching the same security footage as you, and you're going, oh my God, I saw one TikToker, and then he punched him. When? Where
again, you're seeing people who have never been in a physical altercation before, and guys like, I know you, especially being around hockey and everything like that. Christ, you're Canadian. Fighting's just, you came out of the womb, fucking throwing gloves. You had to spend 5 minutes in the penalty box before they cut the umbilical cord.
Right.
But 100%, and just even the reaction from the EVPs, all of that, you would think that a whole company that most of their, wrestlers and their roster and everything no-sell 95% of their moves, you think they could no-sell an interview. Right. No, that's the one thing we put over is the goddamn interview. Or even, we can halfway mention this because I mentioned it in the intro, Will Osprey taking a shot at Triple H because of a question that he answered during Pat McAfee's, interview, which he didn't say anyone specifically, he was saying it towards.
I was going to ask you, because I know you and I are both big fans of Osprey, and you were, back when, really being, super excited about him being involved. So to see it now and see what happened last night, I mean, again, it added to the whole story of like WWE is living in AEW's head rent free. It is embarrassing. But what did you overall feel about what Osprey did? Like, we love him, great promo, but
he took a shot that, especially anyone of our age, of our vintage, you've heard that half a dozen times and everything like that. It was, again, completely unnecessary, completely irrelevant. It was the minor leagues to what, the Bucks did with showing the footage. That's the major leagues.
Right.
And I think, Renee Moxley Good's face and Tony Schiavone's face of all, even before and after, he was having flashbacks, that guy.
Yeah, he was having that puts asses in seats flashback.
I saw somebody, and I shared it in our Discord, that literally split his face from Bash at the Beach 2000
I saw
to last night, and it's literally the exact same face. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he looked so uncomfortable. He physically had turned away from everybody else involved. Like,
yeah, while you were on stream and everything, and I was watching it at home, and I literally, all I needed to know about what I was about to watch, I could tell from the way Tony Schiavone looked before and after they aired it. That's all I needed to know, because if that's a guy who works for the company, and I've never seen that man again outside of, some that'll put butts in seats type shit, literally look beside himself.
Yeah. Could you imagine going to your boss and saying, hey, boss, can I have 5 minutes on TV? And the boss says, why? And he says, well, somebody said some things, and there's a few people on the internet that think it's about me, and I would like to, rebuttal. And the boss goes, sure, why not? We got nothing else going on.
But that, well, on one hand, shit, that is kind of the thing. They don't have anything else going on, or that they should be focusing on other shit they have going on. But I will pay respect to Dave LaGreca, who I listened to before we went live, of him breaking it down, about like 20-minute clip on Bust Open's YouTube, to where he even said same thing with the, them showing the footage from with the Bucks and everything. Same thing, especially with Will Ospreay's promo. Now, granted, he was more upset that he took the shot and everything and met across the line. And does that hurt Osprey's career going forward when you do want to sign with WWE?
It could.
But why not do it on the same platform or on the same type of platform? You said this especially with like the Bucks footage of, well, Tony, you were on Ariel's show. Why didn't you say anything then? Why are you taking, they didn't take time out of, if you feel slighted, they didn't take time from WWE programming to go out of their way and mention it. Why are you taking time out of your program to go out of your way and mention it?
Yeah, and I feel like right now it's like death by 1,000 cuts, Nick. Like I feel like the WWE is just poking and poking. Even Punk's tweet last night. Even Forbes is taking shots at AEW.
That was great,
wasn't it? Forbes.
I literally had to make sure it wasn't somebody doing a Photoshop and everything.
Right.
Forbes that's out there covering millionaires and billionaires is out there saying CM Punk went over Jack Perry last night on AEW Dynamite.
Right. So, I mean, again, it's just it's. We talk about Mania weekend, and everyone comes out of that, and we're talking about this new era, new champions, and records and records and records, and we're going here and we're going there. Can't wait to get to France. All this really amazing news, all these videos coming out of emotional moments, and it just feels like everything coming out of the AEW camp is negative, not good. You got Bubba Ray out there fucking offering to take, I'll help for free. Like that's how desperate the shit is getting. But nothing good seems to be coming out of AEW right now.
They're both emotional moments. One is an emotional moment for all of about like 3 people, and the other one's an emotional moment for about 3 billion people. So that's the difference.
True. Let's quickly say hi to the chat, and then we'll get back into it. I know there's more to uncover, but listen, man. From start to finish, I thought the show struggled.
Did you ever have a thought?
I taught a putty cat.
You thought you think?
I taught a putty cat.
Well, no, we did in that footage. They showed. I saw a couple putty cats.
Right. My favorite part of the whole footage was Malachi Black, just wandering around like he was like, oh, this is fucked. They just kept walking.
Well, and again, Samoa Joe, the way he handled that situation, even Jerry Lynn and Chris Hero. Now, granted, Chris Hero, I feel sorry for the man. That man,
was distraught,
living it.
Yeah.
But you can tell who are adults and have been in situations like that and understand. These are grown human beings, and Punk never once, I think, really said, I was completely, unabsolved of error or anything like that.
No.
He knew he was in the wrong just as much as anybody else. But you saw how adults handled that situation, and you saw how people who had never been in that situation handled it. Because I was looking for the guy fearing for his life.
I wanted to see the fearing for the life part. And again, you saw him lunge in that direction, and
was TK over there though? This is the fucking Zapruder film. This is goddamn the grassy knoll.
You're right, down into the right. Shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is something they should have let go. They got to move past it. We're gonna move past it for a moment,
right,
and talk to the chat. But I mean, again, it blew up. This is blown up. It's gone everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. And other than a handful of just very narrow-minded, blinders on, not really paying attention group of people, everybody across the board is like, what the fuck?
I will say this last thing before we actually get to the chat. I know we keep teasing it and still never get to it.
We're just teasing.
Right. But every wound that AEW has befallen has been self-inflicted.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. See money, good to see WWE. We broke records this week. AEW, we broke our company this week.
I'm sorry, I broke it in your toy.
Yeah, I broke it in it. Yeah, oops.